So I just want to go over real quick a couple games that I got last year, things that I liked and that I didn't like, just to throw out some honorable mentions out there, and to give some praise where it's due, and then some not so much praise where it's not due. So I bought several games last year. One of the games that I bought last year that has hit my game group a lot is Noble Treachery. It's a game that I had never even heard of. It's a card game where you're trying to either win by having the highest card or having the lowest card. The person who controls the round gets to pick either war or diplomacy, and then they also get to decide whether they are the first player or the last player. And it's all based on bidding. You bid to see who controls the round, and then whoever has the highest card or the lowest card, depending on what you're playing, gets the chips, and you're trying to get 5 different color chips. It's a great game. My group loves it. We play it all the time. I met the designer. The designer autographed my copy. I met the artist who did the artwork on the cards, and I love the artwork on the cards. And the artist signed a bunch of my cards, and so I really love this copy that I have. And that's one of the things about Gencon that you can't get anywhere else. You want to go. Everybody buys a lot of games online. You can't go online, buy a game, and get them to sell you a game with autographs and stuff on it. So I mean,
that was a big thing last year that I remember you really enjoyed, is that you were going to dealer tables specifically to meet people that you knew, the designers, and you knew the people making the games. And the best of that was when you asked Tom Vassell for directions around Gencon, and he happily told you where to go.
Yeah, Tom Vassell is one of my heroes. I watch him all the time. I love his show. And John likes to give me crap because he says that I asked Tom Vassell for directions, which is not true. I asked Tom Vassell who made a specific game, and he told me who it was and where they were located.
Right.
So I guess in a roundabout way I did ask Tom Vassell for directions, but I was really not intending to ask him for directions.
It's like meeting Jack Nicholson, and you're like, do you know if there's a Starbucks around here anywhere?
Yeah, exactly. So, so hopefully, maybe someday I'll become, famous enough that somebody will ask me for directions.
Right, right. Dare to dream.
And so I really enjoyed that game from last year, and that was just a game that I'd never heard of before. I actually got the Mage Wars Academy game last year. I really liked that game. I actually like it more than Mage Wars. You can see I have Mage Wars right here. I have 2 copies. We played it so much. It was a long game. It took a lot of time to get to the table, and so we didn't play it that much because it was very involved. Took a long time to play. So when the Academy came out, I was very excited about that because it was a much shorter game and a much more condensed game, and the game is great. I love the game. Me and my son play it all the time, but the thing is, the support for that game has been horrible over the last year. I was very excited when I got it last year. They were saying, hey, we're going to bring out, these packs that have two mages in them, and they come with cards and books and all this stuff. And all they've really done over the last year is they've released a couple mages in small packs, no books for them. You have to kind of go out and get your own books, and it's been a really slow drip thing, and I've been very disappointed. So that's one of the things that I'm probably the most disappointed about, was just the support behind Mage Wars Academy, because it's a great game, but it's just, they really just haven't really done anything with it that I thought they were going to do with it. So it kind of sits a lot. It doesn't get played a lot. So.
That's happened to you a few times. I remember with Golem Arcana, you loved that game, and you were so excited about how they were going to develop it and what the future releases, and then they've just killed it and they're not making anything else for it.
Well, but I think that's a little different situation, because I think they actually just over committed, and I think they actually run their from what I've heard, the company has gone out of business. So I mean, Arcane Wonders, who makes Mage Wars, they're still in business, but I think they're just concentrating on other things, and I'm just not sure, what they're doing to move forward with Mage Wars. I still play Mage Wars. I bought the expansions, but just a little disappointed in the support. I thought they were really going to go all in on this. I thought this could be this could compete with Magic. It's a great game, and it's a great 2-player game when you do the Academy. But we'll see what they do, for the future. But that was a little bit of a disappointment. The other huge disappointment was the big piling stink of poo that I bought, which was Shiny Dice. That was a horrible game. I try to give every game the benefit of the doubt, and I played what's the IP that it's based on?
Is it Firefly?
Firefly, yes.
Firefly.
So it's based on Firefly. It was a dice game. I thought, oh, that sounds like fun. Blah, blah, blah. I played the game, and it was so horrible that I read the instructions like 5 times. I've got to be missing something here. And it's the worst game I've ever played.
Oh, jeez.
Bar none. So that was a huge disappointment. I heard afterwards that it was actually a totally different game, and they just slapped Firefly on there, and I don't think they put a lot of time in testing it, just kind of rushed it out, and it was just a really bad game. Now, one of the games that my game group absolutely loves, which actually gets horrible reviews from other reviewers, even my hero Tom Vassell doesn't like this game, but it was the 7-year Voyage for Star Trek. It's a dice game, and now my game group loves that game, and they want to play that every Saturday night that we get together. And it's a cooperative game, it's a dice rolling game, and I enjoy it too, so I don't complain when they want to play it. So that one was actually, I actually played that at Gen Con. I loved it at Gen Con. I liked playing it, and then I brought it to my game group. My game group loved it. Then I watched reviews, and everybody says it's a big pile of poo,
Sure.
So, but I guess to each his own. So I'm sure there are people out there who love shiny dice.
Yeah.
But for me, that game just is not fun. So
the one game that I did buy was from Asmati Games, and I love a lot of things that they do. And my favorite designer is Carl Chuddick, who does almost everything through them.
Yeah, John has all Carl Chuddick's games.
Yeah.
So even the ones that are exactly the same as the last game that he put out.
Yes. Yeah, there are a number like that. But there was a one-deck dungeon, which was kind of interesting because you see these things at Gen Con that you wouldn't see elsewhere. But it was a pre-production release of the game. So
yeah, I think that game is releasing this year.
And it's releasing this year officially. And I bought it just because I like what Asmati does, and it kind of seemed an interesting idea, like a roguelike kind of deck game. And we played it, and I played it with my wife, and it's not a great game. And so that was a disappointment. And probably the lesson there is just buying things spur of the moment without doing any research and without finding out what other people have thought of them is a pretty good gamble.
Yeah,
right?
but the thing is, that's a fun thing to do at Gen Con
Sure.
if you're not spending a ton of money. So I did that one day. John and his wife were out doing something, and I just wandered around the hall, and I went to all the little designers, and I bought a couple games. One of them was Noble Treachery, and I bought a couple games. They were like $20, $30 a piece, just to give it a shot, sometimes it's a plus and sometimes it's not. But if you're not spending a lot of money on the game, I wouldn't buy a $100 game if I didn't know, what was going on with it. But sometimes that's fun to do, and you get to meet a lot of cool people. There's a lot of people out there designing games that are really, really nice people, and they love their. And let me tell you something: there's not one person out there at Gen Con who's designed a game who doesn't love their game. You may not like it, but they love it, and that's their passion, and they've got a lot into it. So it's nice to support some of these. These people. I mean, it's hard. I have a game that I designed. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'm not promoting my game in this video, but I have a game that I designed, and I know how hard it is to get your game out there and to get people to like your game and stuff, and so
it's a labor of love, I think, for almost all these people. Very few people are getting rich off of games that they're coming up with. So
and so they like their games, and so the one thing I have to say is if you go to Gen Con and you meet some of these guys, don't be like, oh, your game sucks, kind of encourage them, and because we want more people to make games because it makes for better games. I mean, these little guys who are making good games force these big companies to make better games, because they have to up their game to kind of compete with these guys. So
it was funny because when we play tested that one game, I was very, very frank with the guy, the things that I thought didn't work with the game that we play tested. And in hindsight, maybe I was a little bit too gruff with them.
No, but I think in the situation that we were in, they are asking you. They actually give you a piece of paper and say, "Please write down the things you hate about this game. Please write down the things you like about this game." And I actually think in a game testing environment, when you're play testing, you need to be honest, about how you feel about the game. But when when somebody's demoing their game to you and they're not asking you really for your opinion, it's probably better to keep your opinion to yourself. I mean, they're going to get nailed all the time with reviewers and play testers and stuff like that. I think that when you go to the test hall, I think they're wanting you to beat up their game a little bit, and I think that's probably an appropriate thing to do. So I felt like you did a really good job with that. So All right, let's move on. So let's move on and talk about this year's Gen Con. So we're very excited to go. I'm super excited. Couldn't sleep at all last night just thinking about all the things.